Hello, I'm going to show you how to set up an Xcode project. Specifically, I'm going to show you how to set up elevators. All that I'm going to tell you about the scheme is relevant whenever you set up an Xcode project, but I'm just going to use the elevators starter files as my example. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Okay, I think the best way to go about it is by actually creating the project first. So I'm going to go into Xcode. Okay, then I'm going to go to create new Xcode project. Command line tool, make sure we're under Mac OS. Next, I'm going to call mine project. I'll call it final project 183. Okay, and then I'll make sure my organization identifier is my unique name. My language is C++. Next. Okay, now I'm going to decide where to put it. This is super important. Make sure you know exactly where your project is. So I'm going to put mine under desktop in my X183 sample folder. You'll have a regular X183 folder, hopefully. Now we're going to go into projects, and I'm going to go ahead and click create. It won't really affect anything if you do create Git repository on my Mac, but you'll just avoid an unnecessary pop-up. So we'll just hit create. Okay, now before I even add all my files, I'm going to set up my preferences and my scheme. And this is going to essentially be a promise to my computer of where I'm going to put my starter files. So before I set up my scheme, I'm going to go to Xcode, preferences, and I'm just going to make sure that this says relative and this says derived data. If your under Xcode, it doesn't have preferences, that probably just means that you have an updated version of Xcode. So if you don't see preferences, just skip this step. Okay, now once I check the preferences, I'm going to go to product, then scheme, then edit scheme. Okay, now I'm going to make sure that I'm using a custom working directory. And what this is going to tell the project is, hey, when you're looking for my files, look here. So we want to be under run, then options, and then we're going to click this use custom working directory. And it's not enough just to click using custom working directory because you'll get some errors. We want to click on this folder and tell the computer where to look. I think the best way to do it is just make sure that you know where you're going. So I'm going to go to exactly where my project is. Desktop, my X183 folder, projects, and I'm going to go as far as I can go into this folder. So I saw that I already clicked on final project, but I'm going to click into it again until I see main. So go as far as you can until you see main. That's just the best way to go. That's the default of where your computer is going to look for files. So I'm going to click choose. Okay, so now you'll see that this custom working directory is updated. I'm going to do close. Okay, now all the stuff is set up on the Xcode side, and we're going to go ahead and download our starter files. So we're going to go to the X183 website. We're going to go to the final project spec. We're going to go to download our starter files. Okay, so now when I click on the zip, you see I'll have a lot of starter files. You can actually select all of the starter files by clicking on that top one, holding shift, and then the down arrow. And that'll allow you to select all the starter files. Okay, so now I'm gonna put them into my folder. Here we go, X183. And I'm gonna go just exactly where we set up our scheme. So I'm going to go as far as I can go inside of these folders to exactly where I promised my computer that my files would be. So I promised my computer that my files would be in the same one as this main, and as far as I can go into the projects folder, and that's where I'm going to put them. I'm just going to replace that main. Okay, so now my files are exactly where I want them to be, and I can just drag them in to this project. Finish. Okay, so now I have all my files in the right place and my scheme is set up properly. So whenever I use files in my project, they should all be the computer should be looking in the right place. Feel free to post on Piazza if you have any questions or stop by office hours. Good luck, you've got this.